The secret to the Moran Empire's century-long dominance is its protection by the sacred beast, nurtured by the Empire's heir. The beast sees its caretaker as a parent. When the sacred beast takes human form, Lily becomes completely dependent on her parents. Lily yawns, sniffing her mother's scent, then paces irritably around the room. Though her mother is a princess, she's always busy. Lily wishes she could play with her every day. She's also heard nasty rumors. Many say her mother is an evil woman, a terrifying demon. But Lily thinks those names sound kinda cool. Restless inside her room, she searches the mansion and finally finds her mother. Martina, my mom, is the fiercest woman alive. Lily's eyes widen as she sneaks a glance so beautiful. Martina spots the little sacred beast nearby, just as Lily rushes over to hug her. Mom, let's do what we always do every day. Lily beams. Martina's never refused. They start a countdown, making silly faces and teasing each other over tea. Everyone else watches quietly, confused by the mother and daughter's antics. Lily glances toward the three men and quietly asks, Mom, have you decided who will be my father yet? Martina smiles faintly. You mean those guys? Then she shakes her head and explains. They're dangerous monsters, not suitable fathers. She pulls Lily close, soothing her. You only need me. I just want to protect you. Because in my past life, I lost this child. Martina silently holds Lily, who's barely breathing, trembling with grief. Before her stands Field, the Empire's eldest son, and her brother. He sneers. During the sacred beast's incubation, it poisoned and killed the beast. The sacred beast is the Empire's divine protector. Your crime is blasphemy. But Martina refuses to accept it, stubbornly insisting. I will care for her. I will heal her. Lily twitches her finger as if to comfort. Martina freezes, seeing the blood and wounds on her child. Mom, it hurts so much. Her heart shatters in agony. Field mocks her. The court's mages say your sacred beast won't survive today. He grabs her chin, forcing Martina to confess. Suddenly, the door bursts open. A knight rushes in with news. The Emperor has stripped Princess Martina of her noble status and fined her 100 ROI. This was exactly what Field had been scheming for. Exiled to the Empire's border, Martina lies battered beside the sacred beast Lily. In my past life, I was a complete loser, branded a villain who betrayed the country. A despised godslayer, exiled to a cold wasteland. My brother Field inherited the throne after a fierce succession war. We both tried to hatch sacred beasts. His beast was born successfully, helping him claim the throne. He finally defeated me once, but I never accepted defeat. Her will still burned fiercely at the border. I will find a way to bring my child back and reclaim my inheritance. She escaped exile, hunted and betrayed by her brother's men. She finally found the prophesied seer. The old man smiled kindly. You're the first in 1,000 years to find me. Martina begged. Please save my child, the seer murmured. Your courage and will deserve help, but are you willing to pay the price? His voice echoed through the mountains. Are you willing to sacrifice your life to be reborn and change the future? Martina had nothing left to lose. Show me a reason to trust you. Vines began creeping forward. A cunning girl, she immediately hugged Lily's container tightly. In this life, this is all she can do for herself. Do you agree to the next life? Martina touched the sword at her side. Please take me. She pressed the blade to her neck, blood flowing, but her words grew firmer. To the future, to victory. Suddenly, Martina froze, eyes wide open. Sitting on her bed, she checked her body. No wounds, no weight loss, no haircut. Martina smiled wildly. She truly had been reborn, her hands clenched, ready to strike back. Enemies from my past life, I'm back. She looked up, catching sight of a pale, pink necklace around her neck. This necklace meant her child was near. Martina jumped off the bed. Nearby was a cradle holding a sacred beast egg. Seeing it, Martina hugged the egg, burying her face in it, heartbroken. It's good she's still alive. This time, she cherished the egg even more, afraid to drop it. After placing it back, she sighed in relief. Suddenly, she remembered the seer's words. Where's the secret to protecting the child? The nurturing method promised by the seer? A strange screen popped up, startling her. What is this? The screen kept flashing messages. I am the seer's consciousness. I will assist you in raising the sacred beast. First, the sacred beast and its parent must be united as one. Martina frowned. I already know this. Stop spouting nonsense. But then another message appeared. To raise the sacred beast, the Empire's pillar must give a sincere kiss through the family head, transferring energy to the beast. When fully energized, it can resist poisons. The Empire's pillar, a prosperous nation, needs outstanding talent. A sincere kiss from the heart and oral contact with a part of the family head's body. Martina grew confused. So that's it. In my past life, I read ancient texts on sacred beasts, records from over 100 years ago. There was a secret method to rapidly mature the beast. The 7 transmissions method must be this. She held her head, frustrated. But a sincere kiss from the Empire's pillar is hard to get. Because of my terrible reputation, since childhood, I fought my brother for the throne, often clashing openly. The noble circle already spread bad rumors about me. My arrogant noble attitude was criticized. No talent would be loyal to a princess like me. Martina collapsed on the table, thinking, but if it's for my daughter, I will change my behavior. I want to be a mother who helps her daughter grow strong, one she can be proud of. I hope when she's born, she can smile at me. She closed her eyes, imagining that priceless scene. Suddenly, the door opened. Louis and Lily appeared respectfully outside the room. Good morning, Your Highness. I'm here to serve. Please confirm today's schedule. Martina stood up suddenly, eyes sharp as she glanced over, replying coolly. You two come here trembling in fear, yet you still agree? Fine. Inside, she saw their expressions matched perfectly. She often faced scared faces but now wore a completely different expression. Jokingly, can you two kiss me on the cheek? Both froze. Reluctantly, they stepped forward and planted kisses on her cheek. The screen popped up again. Gardlini meets loyalty requirements. Louis' close maid also loyal. Even with loyalty, she wasn't satisfied. Her eyes narrowed, unhappy. Just as she thought, there's a spy among her people, her brother's spy from her past life. Gardleni was falsely accused, stripped of her knight title, made a commoner. Louise's maid was secretly a noble under her brother's command. In the past, she was cold to everyone because she didn't know who was the spy. But now, she can see clearly. Martina's expression changed. She placed her hands on their shoulders, praising, Thank you both for always taking care of me. They were startled. What are you saying? She told them to put down the water basin. I'll do it myself today. You both get a day off, okay? Tears welled up. I haven't had a day off in 5 years. My birthday wish last year was a day off. Martina smiled sweetly. Go enjoy your break. In her mind, she started planning. This is the first step to improving her reputation and making the spy let their guard down. It's not time to expose her yet. Keeping her around is still useful. Gardlini and Louis walked side by side down the corridor. I can't believe Your Highness gave us a day off. I don't believe it. She nodded in agreement. It's true. I pinched myself. Not far ahead, they bumped into Mia. Your Highness, what's going on? Louis excitedly bragged. Today the princess made us kiss her. And gave us a day off. She even smiled a few times. She looked so pretty. He pursed his lips, mumbling, kinda weird. In her room, Martina was lost in thought, recalling her past life memories. Many people betrayed her, but some protected her. Mia was her childhood palace secretary, teasing her with squinty smiles. Suddenly, a knock sounded. It's Mia, Your Highness. I heard you have new ideas. Mia Fan, the perfect, gentle, sensitive childhood secretary, stepped in slowly. Martina muttered. The name sounded familiar. Seeing him, she grabbed his tie, shouting, Mia, you're still alive. Mia pushed up his glasses, replying respectfully, Of course I am. Sorry for disappointing you. She felt his trembling inside. Why say such bad things so early? He shrugged, smiling faintly. Just curious what you're up to. Martina couldn't hold back tears, sobbing, Mia, you're alive. That's so good. That protection was a nightmare I can't forget. When I was exiled, he protected me. Before dying, he told me to run, my princess. Martina was scared. Your Highness, I've known you a long time, but this is the first time I've seen you cry. What happened? How could such a story be true? So she made up a story. I dreamed of you last night. Something happened. But now seeing you alive, I feel... You can still work for me until you're 100. Mia chuckled. 100 and still secretary? You really are a demon, she teased. If you were around earlier, I'd make you come back. This time, she planned better. She could test Mia, who handled all her schedules perfectly and knew how to brew 20 kinds of black tea. Then she pointed to her cheek. Come on, kiss here. Is he the Empire's pillar? Mia blushed. You're teasing me. But then she frowned. If you don't kiss, half your salary's gone this month. He muttered respectfully. You're always stubborn. Then, ignoring embarrassment, he kissed her cheek. I surrender to you forever. The notification popped up. Secretary Mia meets sincere heart requirements. Martina was a bit disappointed. He's not the Empire's pillar. Though expected, it still stung. Only someone strong enough to influence the Empire counts as the pillar. Many talents appeared during her exile. She could use past memories to recruit them. Turning, she asked Mia, Tell me today's schedule. Mia noticed her change. Before, she never listened and acted on whims. Today was strange. He cleared his throat. You have 3 appointments today. Morning. Visit the tailor for next season's outfits. Martina refused, bored. No way. His voice continued. Afternoon, Countess Padding's tea party. You're the most important guest. She still refused. No thanks. Even worse. She recalled last time at that hated tea party, everyone was kissing dogs all afternoon, ending with a ball. Evening, your brother, Prince Field, hosts a ball. You can avoid your tense relationship with him. Everyone knows that. But this time, I won't refuse. I want to attend. Martina had already decided who she needed to find. The future war god would appear at this ball. That person must be the Empire's pillar, Ryan Sidney, the neighboring Sydney Empire's young prince. The future general, the undefeated dark war god, was ignored in Sydney. In his teens, he left the palace to travel alone, later joining mercenaries. This was a disgrace among nobles. Years later, when Sydney and our empire went to war, Ryan was recruited back, winning battles and earning the title Dark War God. But from the start, Ryan hated our empire. At this ball, hired by a noble as a bodyguard, he was responsible for protection but accidentally offended another noblewoman. Ryan immediately apologized. Sorry, may I help you up? This made the woman hate and fear him deeply. Lady Padding screamed, Dirty mercenary, don't touch me. My brother kicked Ryan out to protect the nobles. That's when their personal grudge began. After uncovering all this from her past life, Martina vowed that if she could help him through this, she might earn his sincere kiss and possibly reconcile the two nations. She sat down and ordered Mia, prepare the finest outfit. I want to attend the ball. Yes, Your Highness. The banquet hall and ballroom filled with nobles from everywhere. Martina appeared in a stunning outfit, standing alone. In her past life, she had poor relations with these nobles and rarely attended balls. Could she make friends this time? She spotted someone approaching and casually waved. Lady Sophia, long time no see. Called by name, Sophia couldn't hide her fear and bowed respectfully. Martina looked for her target. Aga, why no greeting? The two awkwardly turned to bow. The man beside them frowned. Your Highness, do you look down on us so much? Why attend the ball with us? Martina tilted her head, teasing. Sometimes I like watching fools dance. Realizing she'd said too much, she laughed nervously. The man gritted his teeth, annoyed. Miafield quietly spoke coldly. Whenever you appear, blood and storms follow. No wonder you're my beloved little sister. He bumped her forehead and smiled. Music starting. This gentleman invites you to dance. She had to swallow her anger, bowing to thank the prince. Thank you for the invitation, Your Highness. Then he clenched his arm in frustration and left. Meanwhile, Martina glanced at her brother with a cold look. Fiu twirled his sister's hair and smirked. Isn't it you who hates places with me the most? Then why come to my ball? Konyan shrugged indifferently. Just wanted to dance. But he was suspicious and didn't believe it. Dancing with these people? They probably find you disgusting. No one wants to dance with me anyway. Don't embarrass the prince anymore, my dear sister. Martina scanned the crowd. Everyone was avoiding her gaze. The princess of a kingdom at a ball, yet no one invited her to dance. What a disgrace to be talked about outside. Fiu whispered threateningly into his sister's ear. Or you can just bow and beg me to dance one song. How about that? But Martina flat out refused. No thanks. Suddenly, shouts came from the other side. 7 filthy mercenaries shouted, Don't touch me. She smirked, looking their way as if she'd found some new entertainment. I found my dance partner. To the nobles, mercenaries were just dogs, no loyalty, no territory, no masters. They'd sell their fighting skills to whoever paid. Today they fight for one side, tomorrow for another. Just throw money, and they obey like dogs. Why bother giving them any respect? This noblewoman's status was high, and she was famous in elite circles. The nearby noblewomen whispered, How disgraceful to bring such a filthy person to the ball. The whole atmosphere is polluted now. The employer hesitated, pushing all responsibility onto the bodyguard. The crowd kept blaming him non-stop. You shouldn't trust trash like them. But Ryan just shrugged and pointed out, he's the one who asked us to protect him at the ball. But he kept yelling and causing trouble. And you still blame me? Either kneel and beg the lady for forgiveness or get lost. He was cornered but dragged out by the knights anyway. I already apologized. Nearby nobles mocked him. Look, a lowlife apologizing. Your apology means nothing. None of them knew the bodyguard's true identity. But if he acted rashly, it could spark a war between two countries. So he chose silence. Only when the two nations clashed in the future did he remind his men of this painful past. When Ryan was kicked out of the party, she sneered, Without that stinky mercenary, the air's fresher. That guy's terrifying. The man beside her kept flattering the lady. Your courage facing him will surely spread your fame. We can't let him ruin a noble ball. Suddenly a shout came. Let him go, he's my dance partner. Ryan froze, turning to confirm who it was. No one else but Martina. I choose him. He's mine. Who dares take the princess's partner? Cornered, she awkwardly stood up to explain. But your highness, he just pushed me down. She didn't care, twisting his words. I'll buy you 2 new dresses, or are you hurt? You sure scream loud enough. Not hurt at all, the proud lady scoffed, looking down on the princess. Why dance with a lowly mercenary? You're a princess. How could you damage the prince's honor like that? She didn't even bother and treated it like an offer. Hey mercenary, you hear that? I'm a crazy princess. Dare to dance with me? Ryan was stunned by her boldness. He slipped past the knights and calmly praised her. Back home, a strong woman is like a fierce warhorse. Only the bravest warriors can challenge her. Thanks for giving me that honor. Then he kissed her hand. The hall began to fill with dancing couples. Soon, a knight rushed up to report, Your Highness, Princess Martina is here. My Fio smiled. My sister sure knows how to surprise. She always loves breaking the rules. But it's okay, she'll end up begging me because only I'm her real brother. Ryan and Martina walked side by side through the hall. He whispered, Thank you for your help, Your Highness. Martina shrugged. I just don't like those nobles. They talk about noble qualities but only bully the weak. Konyan suggested. If you want to repay me, just make a request. Martina's heart leapt. This was her chance. But if she asked him to kiss her hand directly, it wouldn't seem sincere. Outside, she only said, What do you want me to do? His steps slowed as he considered some requests, like protecting you for a month, fighting for you, or even assassinating someone. Martina didn't hesitate, answering bluntly. What if I asked you to kill a prince from another empire? They got close. She felt his dangerous gaze. But you'd have to buy my life first. Martina was startled. He was still a mercenary, completely outside the law. His only pillars were his country and mother. After the dance, she flatly refused. I'm not interested in savage things like killing. But I have an idea, meet me alone tomorrow? Ryan glanced at her like he saw through everything, then bluntly refused. Sorry, I can't go with you. Martina was stunned, mouth agape. Asterisk, no way. Asterisk, the palace sighed deeply. She sulked, resting her chin on her hand. Why? Me, standing nearby, asked curiously. Why? Why would someone refuse my invitation? He shrugged, offering some excuses. He knew her personality. Hearing this, Martina slammed the table. What's my personality? He's just used to me strong and bossy. When we were kids, he bullied me. It's personal. She snapped back. She glanced at a note left by the bodyguard, full of longing. He'd only left an address. Asterisk, if this keeps up, when will I get a sincere kiss? Asterisk, the address was Si Koi Inn. Martina was filled with anxiety, stroking the egg nervously. If she didn't get it, her child would die again. Suddenly, the egg glowed with bright rays. She jumped back and asked me, The egg's glowing. Is the baby about to be born? At that moment, the system notified her. The sacred beast sensed the imperial blood aura on its parents. It's hungry. Martina hugged the egg tenderly. In her past life, she escaped exile and endured countless hardships to be reborn for this moment. Finally, she could see hope in this child. Tears welled in her eyes. The baby's hungry. That's good. But me interrupted. How can the egg say that? The sacred beast means it wants a midnight snack. Martina didn't argue and said, If the baby's hungry, it's hungry. He pushed up his glasses, warning, Holding it like this is risky. Maybe put it down. The egg trembled again. Both glanced at each other, startled. I told you, the baby's hungry, so it keeps moving. He had plenty of experience. After reading countless books, they knew the sacred beast's hatching was the most critical time. They had to care for it carefully. Me ordered the room warmed and temperature adjusted for incubation. They added the princess's favorite fragrance and soft, gentle music. Martina giggled. Me, you look just like a mom now. He smiled back. Everyone says I'm the villainess's hunting dog. A hunting dog should protect its master, right? She winked and sighed. A dark past resurfaced. In her past life, the baby was born sick and couldn't survive a day. Even the strongest mage couldn't save it. The baby died in her arms. This time, she vowed it wouldn't happen again. Her gaze hardened. If that mercenary Ryan was truly the imperial blood pillar, she had to get his sincere kiss. Saying that, Martina turned and left. I'm going to find some documents. He watched her go, then reminded her, Come back soon. The sacred beast needs your aura. Mi's eyes followed her longingly. His ears flushed red. Earlier, she said he looked like a mother. At least say I look like a dad. The next day, at the Hongsam Inn, looking for a tall mercenary with blue eyes, he's not here, the porter reported. He went to Paris Park. You know that's the noble's cemetery, right? In this snow? He must be crazy. Martina suddenly realized why the bodyguard refused her invitation yesterday. It was his mother's death anniversary. Ryan Sidney's father was the emperor of the Sydney Empire, but his mother was a noblewoman from the Moran Empire. Martina knew about their cross-border love. The two countries were always hostile. While his mother was traveling, she met and fell for the emperor of Sydney. Despite family opposition, she ran away with him and gave birth to Ryan. The Sydney nobles mocked her for leaving her homeland and not being accepted by her husband's family. She died in sorrow and was buried in her homeland cemetery. Following her wishes, Ryan often visited Moran Empire to honor his mother and retrieve her relics, but her family refused to meet him. Now, standing silently in the snow before his mother's tomb, a voice broke the silence. "Ryan, sir, the princess is here." Martina appeared holding a box. "Ryan, you're still here?" She smiled mysteriously. "I came to give you a gift." He frowned as he took the box. "Your Highness, why come here?" Martina smiled slyly. "Open it and you'll see." His eyes widened in shock. Inside was a portrait of his mother. "Ryan, is this my mother's relic?" Martina smiled calmly. "Don't worry, I won't tell anyone your identity. I just heard you came to the nobles' cemetery. And you have the distinctive blue eyes of the Vitus family, so I did some digging and guessed your identity." Looking at the painting, his heart ached. "How did you get this?" "They hide everything about her because of her abandonment." She smiled softly. "I used some villainous privileges." Outside, snow fell heavily. Ryan calmed down, closed the box, and bowed. "Whatever your purpose, I'm grateful. This relic is priceless to me. But I don't know how to repay you." Ryan's voice was sad. "In Sydney Empire, I'm the least valued prince. Those with pure blood and the Empress have more right to inherit. My mother's family never acknowledged me. For over 20 years, they never even looked at me once. All I have is this sword and this horse." Ryan knelt. Mercenaries are beasts with no home. He respectfully placed his hand on his chest, determined to repay this debt. "Your gift is worth my life. Tell me who to kill for you." Martina seemed to have achieved her goal. She didn't want that dull answer. She reached out her hand with an offer. "I came to be your home. Is that okay?" The princess's eyes shone with wild charm. "What they won't give you, I will. The wounds they caused you, I'll fight alongside you against them." But at some point, Ryan's heart stirred. "I'll never let you be a lonely beast again." His gaze turned icy. "You want to chain a wild beast to live for you?" Martina didn't hide her intent. "A villainess and a beast sounds interesting." Ryan smiled. "You're amazing, crazy princess." He gently took her hand, removed her glove, and kissed it politely. "Ryan Sidney, I swear loyalty to you." At that moment, the system notified. Mercenary Ryan Sidney met the conditions of the Imperial Blood Pillar and loyalty. Martina boosted the sacred beast's energy urgently. The sacred beast had enough energy and was about to hatch. Martina jumped, shouting, "Huh? So fast?" she thought. Seeing her panic, Ryan guessed otherwise. "Are you regretting it? Why so scared? Do you reject my oath?" Regret? That chilled Martina to the bone. She calculated that if she said regret, he'd be doomed with her. She regained composure and said, "I'm not one to regret halfway. Just remembered something important at the palace." She turned and asked, "How long to get back?" The girl replied, "Even with the fastest carriage, it'll be afternoon." Martina gasped, "That's too late." Suddenly, Ryan draped his cloak over her. "Don't argue. I don't care if you're cold." Before she could protest, he lifted her up. "It'll be windy, riding fast. My horse is quick. We can get there before noon, but it'll be cold and bumpy. Can you handle it?" Martina grabbed his collar and yelled, "Even if my limbs freeze, I don't care." They set off immediately. He smiled softly, jumped on his horse, and shouted, "No wonder you're Ryan." He pulled the reins, and the horse galloped like the wind. Soon, Ryan brought Martina back to Moran Imperial Palace. She dismounted. "Thanks to you this time. I'll care for the baby and contact you." He was shocked, grabbing her hand. "You have a child?" Martina smiled. "Yes, I have a child." Her words hit Ryan like a cold splash. Asterisk, she has a child with someone else? Asterisk. The thought flashed. Who was he? Asterisk, kill him, asterisk, but Ryan held his head in pain. Asterisk, no, she'll hate me. I must be patient. Asterisk. Meanwhile, in the princess's chamber, the egg cracked. The maids prayed silently. Me paced nervously. The first thing the sacred beast sees at birth must be the princess. We've sent someone to find her. If we're late, Meyer and the maids pray the sacred beast will be patient a little longer. A sharp crack echoed as the egg cracked more. Everyone shouted, "Ah!" Martina entered, saw the scene, and growled, "All right, enough." Everyone fell silent. She gently approached the egg, thinking, asterisk, I'm so nervous. Last life, the baby was dying at birth. That nightmare haunts me. Now I'm both anxious and scared. Will the baby be healthy? Will it survive? Asterisk. She touched the cracked shell. The soft, pale pink skin of the sacred beast showed two tiny horns so adorable. It called out, "Mama!" Martina almost cried with joy. She cradled the sacred beast. "My child, thank you for being born safely." At the same time, in the prince's chamber by the crackling fire, Maifu sat on the sofa with the hatched egg before him. "A beautiful sacred beast is born," the attendant said. "Your Highness, congratulations on successfully hatching the sacred beast." The divine messenger reported, "Today, Princess Martina's sacred beast has also been born." As he lifted his head, he flinched. Luckily, Fu threw a cold glance at the attendant and asked, "Did you send someone to poison yourself? Why would you do that?" At this moment, in the princess's chamber, Martina was admiring the sacred beast drinking milk, smiling brightly, feeling very happy. The baby drinking milk looked so cute. Since birth, the sacred beast has had the awareness of a 2 to 3-year-old child. A creature with magical power is truly formidable. But if it keeps drinking cow's milk like this, can it absorb spiritual energy? Suddenly, the system displayed a reminder. The sacred beast can only gain very little spiritual energy from any human food. The only high-efficiency source of spiritual energy is the sincere kiss of the Imperial Pillar's bed. Martina responded, Got it. I need long-term loyalty from many people, right?" The system praised. "Exactly." She felt a bit hopeful. At least now she found Ryan, but he's a mercenary. Maybe the next mission will take him to another country. "Then I'll hire him as a bodyguard for a long time," Martina said. The system reminded her, if the Imperial Pillar lacks necessary experience, they might lose their status. Martina let out a puzzled sigh. So if he doesn't travel around countries, he might not become the future Dark War god? My decisions will affect their natural development? She sighed, troubled. Suddenly, the sacred beast came before Martina, waving its tiny paw and whining, "Mommy, kiss, kiss." Hearing this, Martina felt all her worries melt away. She hugged and kissed the little one tightly. "No matter how troublesome you are, Mommy doesn't mind." Martina gently stroked the sacred beast. In this empire, there's a wildflower called Lily that can grow over 35 years, even surviving fire. "Can your name be Lily?" The sacred beast exclaimed. "I'm Lily." She softly rubbed its tiny chin and said, "You're Mommy's Lily. You'll live a long life." The system announced, "Congratulations. The bond between the sacred beast and mother has strengthened." Martina lightly touched Lily's soft claw. "Mommy will protect you to live a long life." Meyer and servant Louis entered the hall. The girl examined the milk bottle. "Your Highness's sacred beast has a good appetite. This milk bottle is already empty," the divine messenger said. "I'll prepare a new bottle." Meyer reported to the princess that news of her sacred beast's birth had reached the king. The king had also announced it to the nobles. "I heard your brother also hatched a sacred beast today." Martina smiled. "I know." Suddenly, Lily stared at Meyer and asked, "Mommy, is this Daddy?" The atmosphere froze. Meyer's face flushed, awkward and speechless. He stammered, No, he's not Daddy." Martina gasped. In her mind, she pictured Meyer playing with the children. If he were Daddy, his wife and daughters would definitely boss him around. Meyer shyly said, "You know, I've always been single." Then he winked at the sacred beast. "I'm not Daddy. I'm a servant, a slave to Mommy." Hearing this, Lily was surprised. "A servant slave bullies you?" Martina quickly covered the sacred beast's ears and shouted, "Don't teach Lily weird stuff." Meyer asked, "Is Lily the sacred beast's name?" It happily introduced itself. "I'm Lily." The princess said, "You can call him Meyer from now on." The sacred beast smiled brightly and called Meyer comfortably. After playing, Lily fell asleep. Martina put it into a small cradle and asked Meyer, "Have you investigated Servant Louis's background?" He seriously replied, "Yes, I've checked all your servants' backgrounds." Martina glanced at Lily's milk bottle and said, "Because Louis isn't loyal to me." According to system info, Louis doesn't meet any loyalty conditions required for the Imperial Pillar. Martina guessed that Louis poisoned Lily's egg in a past life. But this life, she had no chance to poison the egg, because Martina guarded it strictly. Maybe she was bribed by my brother. But if she was already investigated when hired as a servant, then why did she suddenly help my brother? Something must have happened to her recently. After analyzing, Martina ordered Meyer, "Investigate what happened to Servant Louis lately. I'll personally manage Lily's food and water." Meyer asked, "Are you sure she's the problem? Why not just fire her?" Martina replied, "If I fire a servant without cause, my reputation will suffer." She rested her head on the cradle, looked carefully at the sacred beast, and continued, "If I want to beat my brother, Lily has to officially become the Empire's sacred beast. I have to be a great mother." Meanwhile, in the kitchen, the milk bottle was soaking in hot water. Louis held the bottle, staring at a vial in her hand. recalling the threat from someone provoking her limits as a villainess. If Princess Martina finds out what you did, she'll send 10 fierce dogs to tear you apart. Louis begged fearfully, please, don't tell her. He handed her the bottle and said, you have to follow my orders. With no choice, she gritted her teeth, poured the poison into Lily's milk, and took it to the princess's room. Martina was reading. Louis knelt, placed the milk on the table, and said, Your Highness, the milk is warmed. Half an hour is the best time to drink. I'll leave now. Then Louis quickly left. The princess snapped her book shut and coldly called, Louis, I need to see you. Louis froze, her face stiff as if frozen solid. She trembled but tried to steady herself and asked, Your Highness, what do you need? Martina glanced at Louis and ordered, Drink it. She gasped, Yes. The princess picked up the milk and repeated, I told you to drink it. Louis stammered, How can I drink the sacred beast's milk? Martina stood up, grabbed her chin, and demanded, Why don't you dare drink the milk you brought? Are you hiding something from me? The princess pressed the bottle to her lips. Louis turned pale but stayed silent. Martina snapped her fingers. Mi caught an elderly woman entering. The princess said to Louis, If you don't confess, I'll show you the evidence. Mi gently helped the old lady walk slowly and warned her to be careful. Louis shouted, Mom. Hearing her daughter's voice, the old woman smiled. Louis, the royal doctor examined me. They said my eyes can still be healed. Thanks to you becoming the princess's servant, my poor child. Wait for me to recover so you won't have to cry for me anymore. Louis tearfully replied, Mom, that's wonderful. As long as you recover, I'm willing to do anything. Martina calmly said. Her mother suddenly went blind, and their family fell into poverty. She stole my ring to pay for treatment. Don't worry, I'll deduct the ring's cost from her next year's salary. Hearing this, Louis was shocked. You mean you'll keep hiring me? The princess winked and said, Of course. Though I'm a notorious villainess, I'm still a mother. A girl who does bad things for her mother, I respect that. Louise's eyes filled with gratitude. She looked at the milk in Martina's hand and said, Your Highness, this milk was poisoned. Someone threatened me to harm the sacred beast. I'll tell everything to those I serve. The princess patted her shoulder and smiled. I'll wait for you. Now, take a walk with your mother. You probably haven't seen each other in a while. Louis quickly led her mother out. This was a rare privilege with only 2 people left in the room. Mi said, Your Highness, I'm amazed you didn't punish her directly but let me care for her mother. That's unlike you. Martina turned sharply and asked, Are you implying I was once a cruel, rebellious princess? He smiled warmly. You misheard. I never said that. The princess pointed at his eyes. These fake eyes of yours say otherwise. Then she smiled. I can still surprise you with more trouble. Just wait and see. Meyer watched Martina's retreating figure, pondering. Her personality is the same, but why has her approach changed so much? If she were the old princess, she'd never give traitors a chance. Anyone who dared offend her would be forced to kneel. Because of this, she made many enemies. People called her a villainess, though only I knew her softer side. What could have changed her so much? Becoming a sacred beast's mother must have had a huge impact. Suddenly, he doubted if something happened that he didn't know. The 2 sacred beasts hatched simultaneously, causing a huge stir in the Moran Empire. The empire's guardian sacred beast has a special breeding method. When the previous emperor died, his sacred beast laid an egg. This egg is given to the empire's heir. If the heir is legitimate, the sacred beast will hatch successfully. 7 failed hatchers were investigated. They weren't of the emperor's bloodline and studied magic, so those who failed were severely punished. Martina's father and Myfield, the current Emperor Gardner Moran, have been seriously ill for 2 years. His sacred beast laid 2 eggs, meaning both children are legitimate heirs. This is the first time in the Empire's history. The Nobles' Council decided, the first to hatch a sacred beast gets the right to inherit. But the sacred beasts hatched at the same time. The carriage stopped before the main hall. Martina carried the sacred beast and stepped out. Mi helped her down. When her hand touched his, Mi felt the princess tremble slightly. He asked, Your Highness, are you nervous? Martina worriedly replied, This is my first official Nobles' Council. Many people dislike me and want to remove me from the Royal Seven. They probably think no one would expect a notorious villainous princess like me to hatch a sacred beast. They might even criticize Lily because of me. Meyer honestly said, It's the first time I've seen you look so downhearted. You're like a reckless carriage, charging headfirst into any problem. Hearing this, the princess laughed brightly. What? In your heart? I'm not even human? Why are you encouraging me? His smile would inspire courage in others. Just keep smiling and face all difficulties. They'll step aside for you. The Moran Empire Nobles' Council was held in the castle's main hall. Many were present. The Prince of Moran Empire, Myfield Moran, successfully hatched a sacred beast. Princess Martina Moran also succeeded. By tradition, the heir who hatches a sacred beast can inherit the throne. Matthew Douglas held a hammer and said in a deep voice, "But in history, no situation has occurred where two heirs hatch sacred beasts simultaneously. Now the nobles and His Majesty will decide who inherits." The Emperor coughed loudly, exhausted. I didn't expect this chaotic farce to drag on so long. On Monday, Queen Isabella Moran and Emperor Gunnar Moran faced a dilemma. He weakly said, "My dear children, neither of you can prove you deserve the throne." Mai Fun suggested, "Why doesn't your sister withdraw herself? A few days ago at the banquet, she scolded a noble to protect a lowly mercenary. Such a rebellious princess is a disgrace to the royal seven." Hearing this, Lily felt very upset and shouted, "You're not allowed to speak ill of my mother." Siegfried growled on the side, threatening. The two sacred beasts stared at each other with bullet-like eyes. Martina refused to sit quietly while her opponent insulted her. She firmly replied, "Brother, you're slandering my past. Explain this." She took the milk bottle from her bag and raised it. Mai Fun calmly said, "I don't understand why you're carrying such a ridiculous milk bottle." Martina placed it on the table and said seriously, "Someone bribed my servant to add poison to this bottle to harm my sacred beast. Interestingly, I sent someone to investigate the poison's recipe. Only mages under my brother's command can refine this poison. The prince is plotting against the Empire's sacred beast and has no right to inherit." Martina stared into Mayfield's eyes and asked, "Brother, is this true?" This shocked the nobles, who began whispering. No one expected the prince to be accused of plotting against the Empire's life source. Only the princess could be chosen. The prince looked worried. Suddenly, the emperor spoke quietly. "My son, do you have any defense?" He seemed prepared. "Fortunately, my mage is waiting outside. Bring him in." Martina worried. In the past life, he used magic to kill Lily. Could she counterattack now? The little Lily lay in her arms, softly making sounds. The door opened. Two guards brought in the prince's mage. He wore a black cloak, head bowed. Mayfield tapped the table and said, "My sister, someone tried to poison the sacred beast. The poison's recipe in this bottle is only known by you. Do you have an explanation?" The mage knelt and said seriously, "Yes, it's my poison recipe, but I acted alone. The prince didn't know about the plot. I'm guilty. I'm willing to prove the prince's innocence with my death." Then he gathered energy, cast a spell, and set himself on fire. The flames blazed fiercely, shocking everyone. Martina held Lily tightly, unprepared for this. Guards rushed forward shouting, "Protect His Majesty!" The nobles shouted, "What's going on?" The mage quickly burned to a crisp, falling with his arms still aflame. Mayfield smiled smugly. "My dear sister, I've avenged you. Are you satisfied?" Martina felt conflicted. How dare he let such a valuable mage die for him? She firmly replied, "This is an unfair death without trial." One mage's words prove nothing. Suddenly, the emperor covered his mouth and coughed violently. The queen hugged him and said to Martina, "Don't say more. Your father is exhausted. That's enough for today." The meeting was interrupted. The queen stood and took the emperor away. Before leaving, she reassured Martina, "I believe he didn't mean to harm you. The succession will be decided at next month's council." Other nobles gradually left. Martina carried Lily and returned to the palace. Just a few steps away, Mayfield called, "My dear sister, don't you feel we're very alike? We're both arrogant and cunning, always wanting to land a fatal blow." He opened his eyes wide and said, "We even share the same cold eyes." Martina stopped, turned back with a cold smile, and said, "If you don't like them, you can gouge them out yourself." Mai Fun suddenly said, "We both have cold, sharp eyes alike." Martina stopped, turned back with a cold smile, and said, "If you don't like it, you can gouge your own eyes out." Suddenly, Ra Mai View spoke up. "Our father is exhausted, and mother holds no more power. Over 70% of the nobles at the conference obey me, the guards follow my orders, and the mages have signed contracts with me." He stepped closer, slinging an arm around Martina's shoulder, saying, "I'm just one step away from becoming the most powerful person in this empire. That step is embedding your eyes on my throne or turning your little bunny into a pair of gloves." She slapped his hand away and pushed hard, then whispered fiercely, "You like stealing from me, but this time, you're the one who'll lose." He sneered, "Bring it on, little sister. I'm waiting to hear your screams for help." Martina quickly got into the carriage and left. Me held Lily, playing with her, while the princess sat silently, lost in thought about that crazy Mayfield guy's words. He always reminds me of my past life. Back then, Lily was poisoned to death by him, and I was exiled. Losing to him was even worse than death. I endured countless hardships to get this chance to reincarnate. I must protect Lily's life. This time, I absolutely refused to repeat the same mistakes. Martina suddenly turned to me and said, I want that. Before she could finish, she saw him and Lily making silly faces. Martina burst out laughing. What are you guys doing? The holy beast, seeing her joyful expression, got excited. It poked out its tongue. Me said, doing this will make Mama happy. Please don't be sad, okay? Martina suddenly bowed her head. Lily worriedly asked, Mama, are you okay? The princess's hand clenched the hem of her dress. Tears welled up as she choked out. Just now, Mama was really scared. Scared she couldn't protect you. Scared he'd hurt you or take you away. Martina lifted Lily up. But now, Mama's not scared anymore. When I see your smile, my heart fills with courage. She kissed the holy beast's forehead. As long as you're by my side, I can face anything. Lily cheerfully replied, Mama, I'll always be by your side. Please don't cry. Martina cuddled her. Thank you, your fur is so soft. She sweetly said, You're Mama's little handkerchief, me. Seeing the princess's improved mood, me felt a bit relieved. He thought to himself, I can prove that you have the power to protect others. His memories flashed back to a night 15 years ago. In the royal dining hall, the princess and prince were having dinner. Me brought in a plate of sweets. As he approached the princess, she looked at him and said, So pretty. Me was surprised. Princess, what did you say? Martina replied, Your eyes are beautiful, like the green grass in the garden. Michael chuckled mockingly. You really use such a crude comparison? Looks like your teacher's an idiot who can't even teach. Me was silent for a moment, then bowed his head. Thank you, Your Highness. I'm honored. Martina said, Step back, don't mind a mad dog. That annoyed Mayfield a bit. After dinner, Me brought water to the prince's room. He respectfully said, Your Highness, here's the water you requested. Mayfield took the glass, shook it, then threw it down with a crash. Me quickly knelt. Your Highness, are you hurt? The prince sneered. Do you know how many servants that glass could buy? Me muttered. Your Highness, I'm not sure. Mayfield shouted. Cut off his hands and feet. A group of guards stormed in. They restrained Me, kicked his knees, then left him sprawled on the floor. Mayfield smirked wickedly. His henchman grabbed Me's finger and snapped it. Me screamed in pain. His arm hung limply, trembling. Suddenly, Martina burst into the room, shouting, Let him go! The princess's eyes blazed with fury, not joking around. Mayfield stood up and tried to explain. Martina snapped. He broke your glass, so he deserves it. She firmly retorted, You have 100 glasses. Still 99 left for you to drink until you die. Mayfield coldly said, You dare defy me for a lowly servant like him? Martina calmly replied, Even if he's lowly, he's still lowly. Look at them. She turned and stepped in front of him, looking up at his tiny shoes, then raised her hand and loudly asked, Do you dare to be my servant alone? If you do, I'll protect you. Me weakly raised his hand to grasp the princess's. She led him to her room, muttering, Sooner or later, I'll tear Mayfield to pieces and toss him in the outhouse. Me's eyes were gloomy as he whispered, Your Highness, thank you for saving me. Martina replied, I just can't stand my crazy brother. Wait a bit, the doctor will fix your hand, so you can still use it. He stammered, I want to thank you. Hearing this, the princess was a bit puzzled. What do you have to thank me for? I'm just a servant, just work for me from now on. Me hugged his aching arm and hesitated. Your Highness, someday I'll bring you glasses. The eyes you praised will only be for you to see. His words made the princess blush deeply. Then Martina turned and walked inside, mumbling, Whatever. Whatever you say, but I'll make sure to boss you around, Me replied, absolutely obeying Your Highness's orders. He followed the princess from that day until now. Back to the present. On the way to the royal chamber, Me asked, Your Highness, what's your next plan? The prince's power is huge, and many mages have contracts with him, but from what I've investigated, those mages are only mid-level. If you can contract with a high-level mage, it'll definitely boost your reputation. Martina agreed. I think so too. We must find a strong mage to assist me. Otherwise, Mayfield can hurt Lily with magic any time. She suddenly smiled mysteriously and said, But I don't want to find a high-level mage. The one I want is a legendary-level mage. A few days later, Martina searched everywhere. Lily, where are you? Mama has to go out. Today, you'll play with me, okay? Lily was in her room. At the window, she looked out brightly, suddenly jumping up. Mama, I'm here! Lily hugged her tightly and fell down. The little girl clung to Martina's hair, whining, I want to play with you. Martina had to refuse. Mama wants to play too, but today I have important things to do. Such a sweet trouble. Maybe it'll give the holy beast more energy to grow faster. She promised Lily before leaving, Mama will bring toys back. Me held the girl. Don't worry, Your Highness. I'll take care of the holy beast. Lily got excited. Toys, I want new toys. Martina shared her mission. I'm going to meet some mages. If I can get a contract, Lily won't have to fear magic anymore. She waved goodbye. I'm off. He watched Martina's back. Good luck. It seemed the girl noticed something. Lily whispered Me's name. Me calmly answered. What's up? The girl looked curious. He really wants to come with Mama? He didn't get Lily's meaning. She hesitated, then smiled. Every time Mama leaves, he watches her. He's aware of his place and is happy just to serve her. He doesn't expect more. Me made a suggestion. What does Lily want to play today? Let's draw together, okay? The girl threw her crayons up. I love drawing. At the Linny Inn, news came. Your Highness, the innkeeper said that Mercenary isn't staying here anymore. Martina was suspicious. That's strange. I sent someone to deliver a letter yesterday, and today he's gone with me to the Mage Tower. She didn't care much. If he's not here, let's go. Lily obeyed Martina's order. Yes, Your Highness. She felt disappointed. Suddenly, Ryan disappeared. Suspiciously, she wanted one more sincere kiss from him to help Lily grow a bit more. Maybe then Ryan wouldn't just be reckless. After waking up, he'd regret being loyal to a demon like me. Martina couldn't help but worry, but she already sent a message to the Mage Tower. She could only find Ryan there. The legendary future mage Phoenix was still just a normal student at the tower. He came from a common background and wasn't outstanding in school. Years later, Phoenix's memoir mentioned the day he was betrayed by other students and expelled from the Mage Tower. The mage teacher loudly scolded Phoenix. This is your assignment? Freezing one thing, but you froze a fly? He always criticized others. Trash like you doesn't deserve to study at the Mage Tower. Phoenix calmly explained. I submitted a fire element, but someone switched my assignment. The mage teacher flatly denied. You mean noble classmates switched it? Noble students in class smirked. The blonde boy defended himself. The parchment he wrote on was trash, so we threw it away. Noble stealing from you? The brown-haired guy agreed. You have to pick up trash to finish assignments and work in the kitchen to buy uniforms. What's the point of learning magic for people like you? Thinking studying the same thing as nobles means standing with them? The mage teacher didn't let Phoenix explain more. The tower won't tolerate a vile student like you. I warned you. If you mess up again, you'll be expelled. From today, you're no longer a student here. Phoenix was devastated but serious. He burned the paper in his hand and vowed, even if I'm not at the tower, I'll keep studying magic. I'll create a magic no one's ever seen. The mage teacher thought Phoenix was insulting the tower. Arrogant. The Mage Tower is the pinnacle of magic. Pack up and leave. This place isn't for you. Then another teacher knocked and whispered to the mage teacher, who was stunned. The mage teacher forbade Phoenix to leave. Wait a moment, Phoenix. A noble guest offered to sponsor Phoenix. The tower's ceiling was plain. The mage teacher warned Phoenix, that guest is very high-ranking, don't offend her with nonsense. But Phoenix wasn't nervous at all. I don't even know who she is. He froze for 5 seconds. Martina smiled when meeting Phoenix. Hello, I'm Martina Moran, Princess of the Sixth Empire. The mage teacher warmly introduced, Your Highness, this is Phoenix. But many other students deserve sponsorship more. He's violated tower rules 3 times and stolen from noble students. Sponsoring him might hurt your reputation. Phoenix sneered, hearing the lies. He used me as an example to justify himself. Yes, I stole Edelman's assignment. But a 23-point assignment? Why bother stealing it? The mage teacher imposed his views. Don't talk nonsense. You have no right to insult nobles. Martina had researched beforehand. On this day in his past life, Phoenix was truly expelled from the tower. He returned to a normal life in the countryside, where there were no magic materials or teacher guidance. But he never gave up magic. Using farm materials, he practiced magic. Even she was surprised. He created many new spells that amazed the tower. The tower regretted and invited Phoenix back, even though he was in the countryside. Training was tough, but with support, he could become a genius faster. Martina used the excuse to politely dismiss the mage teacher. Can I stay alone with him for a bit? The teacher immediately agreed. Yes, Your Highness. In the lavish room, only Martina and Phoenix remained. He promised with a gaze toward her. Martina personally guaranteed, I'll cover all your tuition at the tower. No matter the difficulty, come to me. I don't want their opinions. I just want to ask you. She stepped closer. Do you agree to let me be your sponsor? He lowered his head silently. Martina panicked, seeing Phoenix grab his cloak. Wait, why are you undressing here? She didn't dare look back. Wait, I didn't mean that kind of relationship with tower students. I don't think that way. Put your clothes back on. He explained why he took off his shirt. I just want you to see what the sponsor did to me. Only then did Martina open her eyes wide to inspect. She noticed something off. That person beat him. Phoenix recounted the story. He's a baron with a deep grudge against magic. He wanted a mage servant. He calmly faced his painful past, but most mages had noble blood and couldn't be slaves. Luckily, there's a rare common-born magic student. He said he'd sponsor me if I obeyed him, but every time I used magic, he'd torture me. Phoenix held Martina's hand. Your Highness, I want to ask, will you treat me the same? He placed her hand on his heart. Martina understood Phoenix's feelings. He couldn't trust anyone but hoped for her sponsorship. Like a stray cat who suffered much, wanting to rely on people but afraid to approach. I know you won't trust me no matter what I say, so let's do this. Every time you reach a goal, I'll sponsor you for a year. Martina grabbed his collar. First goal, create a small, portable magic heat source. Phoenix was confused. That power hasn't been created yet? How do you know what I'm researching? But I didn't have enough magic materials and had to stop. She always cared for others. Winter's cold this year, and many in your hometown froze to death. I was thinking the same. I'm a princess and want my people warm. Do you agree to continue researching this magic? He didn't know how to answer, like a small cat. So, will you provide materials? Other students threw away my stuff. Can I switch to a single dorm? Sorry if I'm asking too much. Martina was confident. I'm a notorious villain in the Empire. There's nothing I can't do. She winked at him. Phoenix, please let me help. I was the worst student the teacher hated. Let me stay by your side. He took a small step forward. Phoenix wanted to prove loyalty through action. I heard kissing the back of the hand shows loyalty, but it's a knight's ritual. Can I do that with you? Martina didn't expect him to take the initiative. He was very cat-like. Could this be an easy way to get 10 sincere kisses? Phoenix closed his eyes and kissed the back of her hand. Then he gently lifted Martina's hand and pressed a soft kiss on it. The prophet's consciousness immediately displayed a progress bar. Phoenix met the condition of imperial bed pillar, but loyalty was still an X. Martina frowned. No loyalty? Was that sincerity just an act? Could this future archmage be a genius actor? She smirked. Interesting. Phoenix shyly asked, Your Highness, can I use your name to request research materials later? Suddenly, hands grabbed his collar. Ryan lifted Phoenix up close. No way. Martina was surprised. Ryan? Why are you just here? When I came to the inn looking for you, you were gone. Phoenix struggled free and jumped back. Ryan cautiously drew his sword, pointing at him. He was dangerous. If I let him stay by your side, you'll definitely be in danger. Just say the word, and I'll take him out for you. Phoenix snorted coldly and began casting a dark magic spell. Purple energy flickered in his palm. Martina watched silently, full of doubt. Phoenix was still just a regular magic student. Even the professors at the Mage Tower didn't notice his talent. How did Ryan find out? Could it be some kind of bond between the Empire's pillars? A natural defense among powerful beasts? Seeing her hesitate, Ryan lost patience and swung his sword. If you won't act, then I will. The sharp blade pressed against Phoenix's neck, scaring him stiff. Just then, Martina suddenly shouted, Stop! Both turned to look at her in surprise. Martina sternly reminded them, You serve me, and I haven't given permission for any AI to act on their own. Hearing this, Phoenix withdrew his magic. His face showed pity. Sorry, Your Highness, I was just scared. She stepped forward and pulled him aside. Come with me, Phoenix. We'll talk. I'll talk to your professor about sponsorship, arrange your dorm and research materials. Do you need anything else? He smiled brightly and shook his head. No, the materials are enough. Martina glanced at the figure standing behind Ryan, who had been watching her every move. She gently advised Ryan, Calm down a bit, then come wait by my carriage. After speaking, she led Phoenix outside. Before disappearing, Phoenix deliberately stuck out his tongue and rolled his eyes to annoy Ryan. The door closed with a cold click, echoing emptily in the room. Ryan's face darkened as he clenched his teeth. He bowed his head and hugged his chest tightly. His heart ached, eyes filled with sorrow. She's angry now. Because I lost control, I wanted to kill everyone dangerous around her. I'm like a madman since swearing loyalty to her. I keep dreaming of her, the small figure wrapped in a big cloak running forward, the wind revealing her red hair. She turned back. The hood fell, revealing Martina's face. Ryan snapped awake from the dream, sitting up and clutching his head. Why is her hair so short? Why does my chest hurt whenever I'm away from her? Only fighting on the battlefield soothes it. This is the blood of the 7th Emperor Sidney. He gave me power but turned me into a madman. I can't control myself. Back to reality, Ryan quietly went to the window, watching two figures walking outside. He clenched his trembling hand to forget the pain. I've taken on more mercenary missions. Only cold baths and physical pain calm me down. Martina's in front of me. How can I pretend to be normal? After sending Phoenix off, Martina turned back. her face lighting up with a smile. This counts as making an alliance with a genius mage for the future. After a sincere kiss, I'll figure out the next step. Her gaze slid to something beside her. Ryan quietly watched as she stepped forward and asked, "Han? Ryan, have you calmed down? I know you swore loyalty to me, but you still carry the blood of Emperor Sydney. You're still a prince, and I respect your thoughts." Before she finished, Ryan grabbed her wrist tightly, cutting her off. "This has nothing to do with my status. I belong to you body and soul. I want to be bound to you." Martina was shocked inside. Marking his body? What kind of weird request is this? But he seemed desperate. If it helps him feel better, then fine. She took out a lipstick. "I don't have a pen, so we'll use this." Ryan held her hand tighter. "No need for that. I don't want to use it. The mark will fade fast, and no trace will remain. I'm afraid I'll become a crazed monster." Martina frowned worriedly. "Why do you want this?" Ryan leaned on her shoulder. "I want a symbol. Even if I become a monster, even if I forget everything, seeing this mark will remind me of you." His grip on her wrist tightened until she winced and shouted, "Let go! You're hurting me!" Ryan panicked and quickly released her. He bowed his head, voice trembling. "Sorry. Please forgive me, I was careless." Suddenly, Martina pushed him away. Ryan staggered and fell backward. She looked down coldly and asked, "You want something to cover your pain?" She plucked a rose branch nearby and stepped closer, eyes icy. "Then only intense pain will work. Where do you want me to write it?" Ryan pulled his shirt aside, revealing his strong chest. He smiled with determination. Martina raised the rose branch's tip. Focused, she carved each word into his skin. The cut bled bright red. Ryan stood still, biting his lip, not making a sound despite the pain. Letter by letter, the name Martina was etched into his flesh. She looked up and asked, "Why don't you cry out?" He gently took her hand holding the rose, brushing off the petals that fell. "With respect," Ryan said, "I deserve this, but you shouldn't suffer." He turned her palm over. It had scratches from the thorns. He bowed his head and licked the blood. He swore that as long as he lived, he wouldn't let her suffer a single injury again. Martina silently watched as the prophet's awareness resurfaced. Ryan Sydney met the Empire's pillars' conditions and loyalty. Status, complete. But a note warned that once the pillars confirmed loyalty, the first kiss transfers 100% energy. From the second kiss onward, energy transfer drops to 50% each time. Reading this, Martina felt like she'd been struck by lightning and got angry. "The energy keeps decreasing? You're cutting points, aren't you? It's the rule set by the beasts and the first emperor, so heirs can find more pillars and not die on one tree." Hearing this, Martina reluctantly accepted, though her heart was tangled. The sky was clear that day, clouds drifting by, birds flying. Before boarding the carriage, Martina stopped and handed Ryan an invitation card. "If you want to visit me at the palace, show this to the royal guards. But it's only good for one visit." Ryan's voice was low. "Only one visit? I don't get many chances, huh?" Martina leaned close and reminded him, "I want a loyal knight, not a madman. If you behave better, you can get more invitations." Saying that, she stepped into the carriage. Before going inside, she smiled brightly and waved goodbye. Ryan smiled faintly back. The breeze blew her hair gently. Ryan stood there until the carriage disappeared. He placed his hand on his chest where her name was carved, thinking, asterisk. Maybe tonight I'll have a sweet dream. Asterisk. Inside the carriage, Martina's face turned pale as she looked at her hand. A madman. He really is. Remembering Ryan's gaze when he licked his wound, she couldn't help but feel scared. She had prepared 3 invitation cards for Ryan, but worried too much might drive him crazier. Phoenix was a sly cat who wouldn't speak honestly. Ryan was a mad dog who could snap any time. It seemed the Empire's pillars were all dangerous characters. Asterisk. I just want peace to raise Lily. Asterisk. Back at the palace's grand corridor, Martina was escorted by Lily to her room. Just then, Mi opened the door. Upon seeing her, he immediately reported, "Your Highness, the sacred beast Lily seems ill." She instantly looked worried. What happened? On the way to Lily's room, he explained the situation. Lily's belly suddenly swelled, and she kept crying in pain, but today, except for cow's milk, she hasn't had anything else. Martina anxiously ran to the cradle and asked Lily, "Let Auntie check what's wrong, okay?" The girl sat clutching her belly, eyes full of sorrow. Lily's belly was swollen and painful. Soft moans echoed in the room. Martina gently touched her belly. "Does it hurt when I press here?" Lily sobbed. "It feels swollen inside." Martina pressed lightly on the bulge. Lily winced. "Mom, it hurts so much." Martina quickly withdrew her hand. The girl lay down, exhausted. She bent down and kissed Lily's head softly. Don't be afraid. Mom will find a way to cure you. Me and I will talk and come back soon. The girl tugged Martina's sleeve, pleading, Mom, come back soon. Martina stood and slowly walked to me. Are you sure she didn't eat anything strange? He replied. She only drank cow's milk this morning, and I checked everything. Hearing this, Martina's face grew more troubled, almost losing control. She kept asking rapidly, Did she touch anything? Could my brother have sent a mage? Did she meet any strangers today? Have you checked all the things Lily touched? Their surfaces might hold magic. Me grabbed Martina's shoulder firmly and loudly said, Your Highness, please stay calm. She seemed to snap back to reality. He recounted every detail to reassure her. I checked all Lily's belongings, nothing suspicious. She didn't meet anyone new today. They just painted together. Martina was stunned hearing me speak. Finally, she regained composure and lowered her head, resting it on his shoulder. Softly, she said, Yes, we're in the palace. I'm still a princess of the Moran Empire. I can protect her. Me gently encouraged. You didn't lose Lily. You found the poisoner and protected her, right? The sacred beast is a magical creature. Human doctors can't cure her. Once you're calm, we'll take Lily to a mage. Martina's voice was hoarse. I was too panicked earlier. Me assured, Your Highness, you did well. He lowered his head, seeing her vulnerable side only he could. Asterisk, if only I could get closer. Asterisk. Me wanted to comfort her with a hug but held back, clenching his hand instead. Martina looked up and asked, Why? He hid his hand behind his back and smiled professionally. Nothing. Just then, a maid announced, Princess Martina, Her Majesty the Queen invites you. Martina frowned, wondering why her mother wanted to see her now. Before leaving, she carefully told me to take good care of Lily. Right. Help me write a letter to the Mage Tower. Seeing him zoning out, she raised her voice. What are you looking at? Can you hear me? Me snapped back, turning to face her. Don't worry, I'll handle it. Martina warned. If that letter isn't sent, I'll make you massage my shoulders for a month. He laughed. A year would be better. After finishing, Martina left with the maid. Me quietly watched her back. He raised his hand to where Martina leaned, picking up a stray hair. When no one was looking, he gently kissed the strand. Sunset bathed the queen's bedroom window in soft light. Martina entered. Mother, you wanted to see me? Are you well? Queen Elizabeth sat silently by the window. Seeing her, she smiled faintly. Come sit with me, dear. Martina slowly approached and sat opposite her. Memories flooded back last life. She was sentenced and exiled. Before being cast out like a rat, her mother visited her once in prison. Her mother was already sick, voice weak and unclear. The only thing she remembered was, my daughter. Later, while fleeing exile, she heard news of her mother. Two men on the street whispered, So what? The Moran Empire's queen died. Not surprising. Since the princess was exiled, she's been sick nonstop. Martina silently bit her lip, trying to hold back tears. She pulled her hood tight over her red hair. Back to present, Queen Elizabeth lowered her head, voice heavy with burden. Don't blame me, Martina. Confused, she said, I don't understand. Elizabeth's eyes were full of sorrow as she sighed deeply. In the noble council, your mother and father represent the empire. They can't show favoritism. Martina didn't want to hear this. She stood strong, voice firm. If you want to talk, know this, I don't hate anyone. Mayfield is crazy, but don't worry, I won't lose to him. I still have things to do. Turning to leave, Isabel panicked and grabbed her wrist, voice full of pain. Martina, you and Mayfield were close as kids. Why can't you listen? He's angry, but don't fight him. We're family. If this continues, he'll hurt you. Martina couldn't hold back anger. Her voice turned cold. If he acts first, I'll be the one to take him down. Elizabeth was stunned as Martina pulled her hand away. Elizabeth slumped in her chair, helpless. No, I didn't want this. Next month, the Sydney prince will visit and propose a political marriage to you. Martina was shocked. A political marriage with the Sydney Empire? Our countries have been at war for over 100 years. Why would they propose this? The people hate each other too. After Ryan's mother fled and married the Sydney emperor, the locals despised her, and her husband's country resented her. She died in misery. If I marry the Sydney prince, will I end up the same? Martina asked in disbelief. You want me to become the next Sydney queen? Queen Isabella sadly said. Martina, you always think the worst of others, even your brother and me. I'm your real mother. How could I intentionally hurt you? The one proposing is the second Sydney prince. He's noble and refined. Don't overthink it's a good match. She took Martina's hand and gently reassured her. Martina jerked away. I don't think that way. The sacred beast can only grow in Moran. If I marry into Sydney, how can I raise her? I'm a mother too. I won't abandon my child. Her words stunned Isabella. Martina turned cold and left. Lily's sick. I have to care for her. Lily was the sacred beast's name. If you're free, come visit her. She left the queen alone in the large room. Isabella covered her face, overwhelmed by grief, crying bitterly. The words broke through her sobs. Mother has no choice, Martina thought. Asterisk, do I have to watch my son and daughter fight until both are destroyed? Asterisk, if you're free, please visit her. She left, leaving the queen standing alone in the room. Isabella covered her face in agony, tears streaming down as her heart shattered. Her words broke through the sobs. Mother has no other choice. Martina, do I really have to watch my son and daughter fight until both are destroyed? The queen's maid hurried over, gently comforting her. Your Majesty, your health is the most important. Let me help you rest. After some sleep, everything will be fine. Back at the palace, Martina asked Lily with concern, how are you feeling now? Lily's face was gloomy. Martina gently hugged her. Don't be afraid. I've sent someone to find a mage. He'll heal you, Lily. Hearing this, the little girl whined. Mommy, can you hug me more? When you hold me, it doesn't hurt anymore. Martina soothed. Mommy's not going anywhere. I'm right here with you. That night passed without a wink of sleep for Martina. She quietly stroked Lily when suddenly a warm breath brushed over a thin cloth gently draped on her. Martina looked up softly, catching Mee's tender gesture. She tilted her head and asked, have you sent the letter to the mage tower? Is there anyone from my brother's side among the mages? I don't trust them anymore. Now, we can only rely on Phoenix to heal Lily. Mee nodded. I sent the letter with a guard on the fastest horse. If all goes well, she should be back by now. He gently covered Lily with a blanket. Just then, a knock came at the door. Martina ordered, come in. Lily returned and reported, Your Highness, I delivered your letter to Mage Phoenix. Martina asked eagerly, so where is he? The letter asked him to come back with her. Lily pointed to the window and said, he told me to return first and inform you. He also said you should look outside the window. Martina frowned in confusion, muttering, could he be trying to sneak in through the window? Just then, a beam of light shot up from below, soaring high before exploding into a brilliant cluster of fireworks. The whole room lit up. Lily groggily opened her eyes. What's that sound? Seeing the bursts of light in the sky, Lily's eyes sparkled like stars, her face glowing with excitement. Among the dazzling fireworks, one special cluster formed the shape of a cute cat. Martina smiled warmly. Cradling Lily, she asked, do you like it? The girl eagerly replied, yes. Looking up at the radiant sky, Martina thought, since the letter asked to treat a child's illness, Phoenix must have made animal-shaped fireworks. Lily's eyes shone like stars as she pointed excitedly. That's me! Martina teased affectionately. Looks like you're aiming for the stars now. The girl puffed out her chest proudly. One day, Lily will fly up there too. Martina sighed in relief, holding the bright-faced girl. Seeing her happy made Martina feel at ease. It must be just a minor issue, nothing serious. Just as she thought that, another firework bloomed in the sky, forming the word Martina brightly. Below, Phoenix slowly approached. His clear eyes full of affection, he blew out the flame in his hand and said, since I'm your servant, your highness, this meeting means a lot. It will help my magical research go smoothly. Not flattering the princess was impossible. Moments later, Phoenix couldn't help but gape, trembling as he pointed at the child Martina was holding. This is my daughter, Lily. The girl raised both hands in greeting. I'm Lily. The fireworks earlier were made by him. He stepped closer and gently patted her head. I thought the Empire's sacred beast was just a legend, so it's real. Her head is so soft. Martina gently placed Lily in her crib and explained, she's a product of condensed magic, which is why I sought you out to heal her. She has a bloated belly and feels uncomfortable. Can you find out why? Phoenix looked a bit unsure. I'm just a regular student at the Mage Tower. You really gave me a big task. She smiled softly and replied firmly, I believe you'll become an outstanding mage and reach the pinnacle someday. His lips tightened, suppressing his emotions at her words. His gaze dropped, filled with unspoken feelings. Besides himself, she was the first to believe he could do it. Suddenly, a glow appeared in Phoenix's palm. He gently transferred the light into Lily's body. She immediately curled up in discomfort. Seeing this, he frowned and eased his grip. Is it here? Phoenix's eyes fixed below as he pondered. I've never seen this kind of magic before. It's completely different from human magic. This magic is powerful and mysterious. Could it be the sacred beast that holds the Empire's fate? Phoenix turned to Moran, spreading both palms as he explained. Your Highness, inside Lily's body, it's unlike humans or animals. There's only immense magical power. His voice echoed as Lily squeezed her eyes shut. Floating midair, she had stomach pain because a small external magic power hadn't been digested yet, interfering with other spells. Hearing this, Moran furrowed her brows, silently guessing the external magic might be from Ryan's second sincere kiss. Sydney's image from the past suddenly appeared. Back then, he lightly licked her wound. Each subsequent kiss's energy transmission dropped to 50% of the previous. Moran immediately narrowed her eyes at Phoenix standing before her. Is there a solution? He smiled brightly. If it can't be digested, then of course it needs exercise. Phoenix pointed upward. At the same time, he winked at Moran. Does your highness carry Lily everywhere? She rarely walks on her own. Moran's cheeks flushed, remembering Lily snug in her arms. Carrying her through the garden, plus the image of the quiet girl clutching her bottle happily while out. Suddenly, Franco stepped forward to shield Moran. He looked displeased but explained, Lily lives in the palace. It's dangerous, so she always needs protection. Phoenix's face turned grumpy as he looked at Franco. Sensing the tension, Moran stepped up to face Phoenix. No need to protect me. I admit I've spoiled Lily too much, not letting her play on her own. So how do we digest this magic? Take her outside for a walk every day? Just as she finished, Phoenix sent sparkling lights into Lily's body. This time, I can help you, he said confidently, spreading his palm. Phoenix was sure that once he identified the magic type, no spell would be too tough to handle. The glow grew stronger. Franco frowned and immediately shielded Moran's eyes. Inside the luxurious room with golden carvings, silence fell. Lily opened her big round eyes, a sweet smile blooming. She bowed her head and gently patted her belly. Then she tried moving the wings behind her. Finally, she happily flew straight to Moran. Mommy, I'm not hurting anymore. Hearing this, Moran couldn't help but smile happily, rubbing her cheek against Lily's soft fur. From now on, every day Mommy will take you for walks and you have to eat fewer snacks. The girl looked up in surprise. Mommy, no more hugs? Moran caught her gently with both hands. If you behave on walks, Mommy will give you a hug. Lily's hesitant voice rang out, I'll try. Then she turned to Phoenix, gratitude shining in her eyes. Thank you, big brother. Phoenix stepped closer, bowing playfully. You can call me brother, but then how should I call your mom? A few sparkles danced on his handsome face as he smiled. By age, you should call me sister. Hearing this, Moran silently observed with a slight smirk. Franco and Lily, standing behind, memorized the scene. Franco's face showed no joy. Instead, he looked annoyed, pressing his lips. Suddenly, he glanced sideways. This caught Lily's attention. She stepped closer to Moran and reminded, Your Highness, it's late. Mage Phoenix can't stay. I'll escort him back to the Mage Tower. Night fell outside the window. Moran walked alongside Phoenix, turning with a gentle smile. Heal Lily, then want a reward? Phoenix's cheeks flushed red. He put his hand on his chin, sneaking a look at her. If I said I want to call you sister in private, would you agree? Her steps suddenly stopped hearing that. Moran immediately turned to face Phoenix. He was surprised as she moved closer and closer. He quickly stepped back, hesitating. Your Highness? Moran was now right beside him. She squinted at him, then smiled teasingly. Your feelings are easy to read. Suddenly, her expression changed. She whispered seriously into his ear. If your magic research needs more funding, bring your results to me. Then, she lifted his chin, eyes cold. Stop messing around, got it? As she finished, Moran stepped back, breaking away. Turning her back, she glanced at Phoenix one last time. His face looked even more beautiful with a smile. Go rest early, little brother. He stood dazed, watching Moran's hair sway. Phoenix gasped in shock as a few soft strands behind his neck twitched. He leaned against the wall, breathing heavily. He hurriedly covered his mouth, but she saw right through him. At that moment, Lenny in front called out, Mage Phoenix, please follow me. His hands clenched as he replied, Right here. The Vice Prince Phoenix trotted beside Lenny, smiling with a bit of flattery. Sis, can you tell me what your highness likes? Lenny coldly refused. The guards can't casually reveal the prince's private matters. Still, he persisted, then how did you become the prince's personal guard? Can you tell me? Hearing this, Lenny relaxed and smiled slightly. Memories of standing beside the three guards flashed through her mind. Before, the prince's guard team had 4 people. Except me, all were men. But they only wanted to seduce the prince, hoping to be his lover for gain. Once, a fight broke out. So Lenny attacked them with her sword. They were in private, speaking crudely about the prince. She couldn't stand it and fought back. Lily's voice softened, recalling the scene. I fought 1 against 3, only managing a draw. When I was about to lose, Lily caught another sword thrown from afar by Moran. Surprised, she looked back at Moran standing there. Moran's face was more radiant than ever. She waved at Lily and instructed, Handle these trash for me. Moran's declaration struck like lightning in the listener's mind. If you win, you'll be my only personal guard. Moran now watched Lily playing on the grass. She silently thought. Since knowing Lily's poor digestion, I take her for walks daily in the garden. Whether nobles visit or guards and servants, the two maids' loving gazes at the girl appear in Moran's sight. Everyone likes Lily. Even their looks at me no longer hold fear or malice. Then a guard approached. Watching Lily in Moran's arms, I think it's time to introduce Lily to society. She picked a blade of grass stuck in Lily's soft fur to let Empire people know. Lily is my most important child. I also need to clarify how many nobles support Mayfield's faction. Moran's passionate eyes fixed on the grass in her hand, her expression a bit sorrowful. How many dare stand with me? Smiling, Moran pointed to Franco standing opposite. I want to host a grand victory party for Lily, inviting all nobles in the capital. She seemed out of place among those cunning nobles. They appeared united, but each had their own stance and faction. Of course, based on her past reputation, few supported her. Only those with poor reputations wanting to exploit her for evil sided with her. She recalled the 3 invitation cards. Each had a different color. She ordered me to prepare 3 types of invitations. The first was a white card sent to all nobles. In 10 days, I will host a grand victory party for the sacred beast, Lily, at the Royal Banquet Hall. Sincerely inviting you to celebrate. Martina and Moran spoke respectfully and concisely. This was the first screening. A noble's face appeared with a sneer as he read the letter, stroking his chin. Those agreeing to attend the party either wanted to rely on my evil faction. Next, a kind old lady carefully read the letter. This was part of Moran's plan, or recently, the moderate nobles had changed their view of her. Another invitation appeared, soaked with blood through the paper. The second was a black card sent to nobles who refused her initially. If you dare reject a princess's invitation, prepare to face her wrath. This card was a threat, like what she used to do. Nobles agreeing after being threatened were those she could win over. The value of exploiting the bad guys was still high. A noble couple trembled reading Moran's letter, fear etched on their faces. Moran couldn't help but recall Mayfield's cold demeanor and his underlings. Among those who refused her, some were Mayfield's men. Backed by their brother, they dared treat her coldly. But some resisted intimidation. Those were the true nobles. She used the third card to filter them out. Moran placed some gold coins on the third card. The third was a pink card, sent to those who refused her twice. I respect your courage and sincerely hope you attend. No matter the price, I'm willing to pay you double. To those who rejected me twice, I respect your courage and sincerely hope for your presence. No matter the price you ask, I'm willing to pay you double. This card is a bribe. Picture the greedy face of a fat noble staring at the money in his hand, nobles willing to accept bribes. Of course, not the true nobles. They're my brother's subordinates, easy to buy off first. Later, they'll become my undercover spies. Everything's like a chessboard laid out before Moran. Her eyes were deep in thought, weighing everything. In the end, those who still refuse me are either my brother's most loyal subordinates or true nobles with firm wills not easily swayed. Then she smiled smugly, raising the chess piece high. After the third round of filtering, the nobles' alliances were clear as day. The shining golden piece stood tall among the tilted black and white pieces. Next, it's just a matter of defeating them one by one. Time passed, and a few days later, Moran's hands grasped the long dress. She kept her back straight, but besides the nobles, there was still one person she needed to soothe the ancestor who had been sending letters daily and visiting about 10 nobles every day. Her steps quickened, heels scraping the floor with noise. After receiving the reply letter, she still had to arrange intelligence on the nobles. Even the toughest person wouldn't last long. Suddenly, the door burst open. Fan, who was working, turned in surprise to see his flushed face from a fever. "Sir, can you come to your subordinate's room?" Seeing him flustered, Moran could only cross her arms and watch. "Aren't you supposed to rest today? Why are you still working with a fever?" Her mind spun like a top. He smiled, though his eyes blurred. "I have to organize the letters properly. It'll help you." Moran ignored everything, grabbed his collar, and dragged him away. "No need for that. Get in bed for me." Suddenly she froze, unable to pull Franco. The awkward atmosphere between them made him laugh, his cheeks flushing even more. "I'm taller than you by a head. If you use all your strength, you'll get hurt." Moran's hand gripped his shirt tightly, warning loudly, "Don't laugh. If you laugh again, I'll dock your pay." "Yes," Fan replied helplessly, unable to hide his fondness for Moran. "I'll obey you, whatever you want me to do." Then he stood up and left the desk. Suddenly, Fan pressed close to Moran, covering his mouth with his hand and whispering, "Master, you better not come here. I'm worried you'll catch my illness." He was panting as she placed her hand on his forehead to check his temperature. Moran looked up at Fan. "Better than this morning, just rest well." Seeing this, he blushed and quickly grabbed her wrist. His face was so close to Moran's, and his hand didn't want to let go. Master, you can't treat your subordinate like this. Moran frowned at that. She stared at Fan, pretending to be angry. You want me to follow the princess's etiquette? If those people already call me a villainess, respecting rules is pointless. His fingers rubbed against her palm. Fan lowered her head, letting her long hair cover her eyes. I didn't mean that. I just want to say if you treat your subordinates too well. Then he looked up at Fan, who forced out a bitter smile. They'll misunderstand. Moran's face was full of surprise. She widened her eyes, staring straight ahead. Suddenly, her voice shattered the awkward silence in the room. I treat my subordinates however I want. Fan's hand left her, and he sighed, turning away. I know you're like that, but I just can't. He grabbed his own hand and quietly told her to leave. Please step outside. You have more important things to do. Fawn's eyes showed a hint of sadness as he avoided Moran's gaze. I can't waste too much time with my subordinates. Seeing this, she helplessly turned and left. The door slammed shut behind her. Moran stood silently, staring straight ahead, a bead of sweat rolling down her cheek. Her face was full of shock as she stared wide-eyed. Asterisk. Unbelievable, I got kicked out by my own subordinate? Asterisk, is he sick or just in a bad mood? Asterisk, don't leave. Send some tonic for him this afternoon. Asterisk. Sunlight danced on the wooden door. Fawn lay exhausted on the bed, covering his eyes with his hand. Asterisk. It's because he's sick that he can't control himself. Asterisk. Then he leaned over and clenched the handkerchief tightly. Fan's face flushed as if burning with fire. His mind was full of wrong thoughts. Asterisk, I'm clearly just a servant. I shouldn't have these kinds of feelings. Asterisk, he curled up. Fan pressed the handkerchief to his chest. Asterisk, this handkerchief is hers. She's marked me with her seal. Everything of mine belongs to her. Asterisk. Finally, he slowly closed his eyes, lost in thought. Only this hidden desire truly belongs to me. Outside the grand mansion, a carriage stopped at the judge's residence. The maid and butler bowed before Moran, speaking in unison. Your Highness, the elder has been waiting for you. Please follow me. Fawn slowly followed the maid leading the way. At this moment, Lily was in Moran's arms. Suddenly, Lily looked up and asked, Who are we going to see, ma'am? She smiled and replied, A very strict man. He's the most important judge in our country. The little girl frowned, mumbling, What's a judge? Moran quietly explained to Lily, If someone does something bad, he decides how much punishment they get. Lily seemed to imagine a painful scene. Lily gripped the judge's gavel tightly, sweating in fear. Scary, I'll be good tomorrow. Moran hugged her tightly, comforting her with a gentle smile. No need, Lily, just be yourself. He's not a cruel man. The cold, serious face of Douglas flashed in Moran's memory, the Judge Matthew. Douglas was born to judge crimes. In his heart, the line between good and evil was absolute. The image of his gavel striking down reminded her of cruel imprisonment. He was the one who judged her in her past life. I had to bear exile and a lifetime sentence. Among all nobles I invited, Douglas was watching from above. Suddenly, he drew the curtain and turned away. Moran pondered. He was also the first to reject all my invitations. In a distant, lavish room, Matthew bowed respectfully to Princess Martina. Your Highness, it's an honor to welcome you. She politely replied, Good afternoon, Mr. Matthew. He kindly introduced. This is my daughter, Lily. The girl lay obediently in her arms. Hello, but Matthew's face showed worry. Your Highness, to be honest, the sacred beast isn't suited to leave the palace. It should be protected safely and avoid too much contact with royal blood. Martina didn't care and cheerfully patted the empty spot beside her. Don't worry, I brought full guards. Please sit. Matthew sighed, unable to persuade her. Martina got straight to the point. I came to ask why you refused to attend Lily's full-month party. Calmly sipping tea, he said, Your Highness, I already explained in my letter. My health is poor. I don't want to trouble your party. She was a bit sad but stubborn. What if I said you're the only one I want to invite? What if you came to bless Lily? She'd be just like you. Fair and impartial. He still refused firmly. Martina thanked him but thought someone else might be more suitable. She frowned, clearly annoyed. Martina's fist clenched tightly. She didn't respect him and stood up. It's too hot in your room. I want to go to the balcony for some air. Lily gets sick easily. Please stay inside and play with her a bit. Matthew blinked, about to advise her that this wasn't proper etiquette. But Martina ignored him, smiling slyly as if warning him. Are you seriously opposing me over something so small, Princess? Matthew blinked reluctantly and obeyed. Yes, Your Highness. Martina stepped outside, stretching and breathing fresh air. She watched Matthew playing with Lily inside and sneered. That argument was just an act. Lily and I planned it all along. The little girl volunteered without hesitation. "Let me help you, ma'am. I'm a sacred beast. I have to try my best." "Yes, lady. It's an honor." "Miss Martina." Matthew shook his head, disappointed. No more fairy tales for her now. She suddenly recalled past memories. In her previous life, after being betrayed by her brother and sentenced to hanging, the judge convinced the nobles to change her punishment to exile. His reasoning amazed her. Matthew was the one who sentenced Princess Martina. She was in prison but still protected the sacred beast's body. That proved she didn't intend to kill the sacred beast. His actions confused Martina. He always hated her arrogance, so why defend her? On her way to exile, passing a small village, something rolled on the road. Martina curiously looked out. A woman called loudly, "Come eat. If you don't come back, Mr. Matthew will be angry." The children happily ran over. "Mr. Matthew won't be angry. He loves us the most." At that moment, she learned a secret. The judge had repaired orphanages in many poor villages, raising children without homes. Lily looked worried facing Matthew. Though he was a strict, old-fashioned noble, he loved children. She kept encouraging herself. "Ma'am said, just be yourself." Lily asked, "Mr. Matthew, do you hate me?" Matthew was surprised. "No, sacred beast. Why would you think that?" The girl was straightforward. "You always look serious with me." He didn't hide it. It was protocol with the Empire's sacred beast. Lily's eyes lit up and suggested, "Then touch my head." Everyone who likes Lily touches her head. But Matthew hesitated a bit. The sacred beast the princess raised was so straightforward and friendly, so the rumors about their close bond weren't just rumors. He pondered, hands suspended midair. Finally, Matthew gently reached out. Lily felt warmth and happily said, "Don't hesitate. Ma'am says my head is her favorite thing in the world." He smiled kindly. "Your mother is right." Martina, watching from outside, was very pleased. This was her true goal. Having the stubborn judge on her side was impossible, but she started planning. If he accepted Lily, it would greatly benefit her future moves. Time passed, and before leaving, Martina showed respect. "Mr. Matthew, I won't give up. I hope we can talk again someday." She lifted Lily to say goodbye. "Come on, Lily, say goodbye to the judge." The girl obediently followed the white-haired man. "Play with Lily again next time." Matthew's attitude had changed a lot. "Goodbye, Lily. Princess, I hope your bond with the sacred beast stays true." He watched the carriage leave. Suddenly, a maid noticed the elder's clothes were covered in sacred beast fur. "Please change. I'll wash these." But Matthew made a surprising request. "Could you gather these fur strands into a ball?" She guessed he still liked the child. He cleared his throat as a reminder. Soon, Martina returned to the palace. As they entered, a servant awaited them. "Your Highness, His Majesty and the Queen invite you to dinner." Martina asked bluntly, "Is it just me or is Mayfield coming too?" The servant bowed. "It's a rare family dinner." Martina's eyes instantly sharpened. After thinking, she decided to leave Lily with Lily. "Take Lily to her room. If I'm late, put her to bed first." The servant obeyed, but worried inside. Before preparing Lily's full-month party, there was a family meeting. Martina's mind was chaotic. Was it because she refused the marriage alliance with Sydney? Or was Mayfield up to something again? Nothing good, that's for sure. She nervously walked the hallway. As the Empire's most noble princess, her family was a suffocating hell. Martina remembered a familiar face. "My father, Gardner Moran, is a cold-blooded politician. To win the southern nobles, he married my mother, daughter of a great noble. They hadn't even met before marriage. And there's someone Martina missed. My mother, Isabella Moran, was a weak, noble girl. She married with a longing for love but only received coldness from my father. She thought becoming a noble queen would bring love. So she desperately learned the rules, carefully and strictly teaching me in Mayfield. Those childhood memories stayed with Martina. It's funny, that was when Mayfield and I were closest. Mayfield noticed my odd behavior. Too tired to keep up, he nodded off and reported it. Mom, Martina's sleepy. Can I take her to the library for a walk? She agreed immediately. Hurry back. We have to finish studying Imperial War history today. Quickly, the two went to the garden to play. Footsteps echoed in the empty room. Mayfield led sleepy Martina away. She wondered, Brother, you just don't want to read, right? I'm not ignoring you. He put a finger to his lips, signaling her to be quiet. Since my smart little sister noticed, I'll play with you a bit. Mayfield suggested. Martina, want to play hide and seek in the library? She happily agreed. Yes, I want to. Martina never forgot those happy memories. Hide and seek in the library was a game Mayfield and I played because we were always locked in there to study. He excitedly flipped a book. Today it's my turn to hide. I'll use this book. She clearly remembered the rules. The hider chooses a book, places a note inside, then hides it anywhere on the shelves. The seeker asks a question. The note answers it. He looked at his sister. Got any questions for me? After thinking, Martina asked an innocent question. Why is Mayfield my brother? Mayfield was shocked. Asterisk. What kind of question is that? Asterisk. Because Mom gave birth to you first, so he's naturally your brother. Martina immediately objected. I didn't ask a stupid question. Her hands clenched tensely. Brothers are always gentle. Why does he always bully me? She lowered her head sadly. Why is my brother such a jerk? Mayfield asked coldly. You're the stubborn one. I'm the unlucky one. Martina couldn't take it and angrily left. I want to go back. You play by yourself. Mayfield ran after her, coaxing. Don't go back. If you upset her, Mom will be mad. But she showed no mercy. Serves him right. After a while, they started the game. He seriously wrote on a small paper. Okay, no more messing around. If you win, I'll buy you your favorite dress. Mayfield closed the book titled Time's Blood and Power asterisk. Martina wandered searching. If I find the hidden book, I win. If time runs out, he wins. She searched non-stop. Not this one either. She had many pretty dresses but was determined to beat Mayfield. After a while, a book caught her attention. She didn't waste time and recognized it immediately. Martina tiptoed to grab it but couldn't reach. Mayfield suddenly appeared, smirking. Need help, little sis? But Martina's pride was too high. No thanks. He deliberately placed the book high, then reached up to it. Mayfield whispered in her ear, If you ask nicely, I'll help. Then it still counts as your win. How about that? She angrily turned to him. I hate you the most in the world. But he had no intention of backing down. Just admit defeat, okay? I'm your brother. I won't punish you. Back to reality, she walked the hallway. The hide-and-seek game was finally over. Mayfield leaned close to Martina's ear and proposed, If you beg me, I'll help you. That still counts as you winning. How about that? She turned angrily to Mayfield. I hate you the most in the world. But he still had no intention of giving in. Then just admit defeat, okay? I'm your big brother. I won't punish you. Back to reality, she was walking down the hallway. That game of hide-and-seek was finally over. Martina still confidently remembered not admitting defeat or begging him. She recalled how it ended. She kicked him hard and ran to tell Mom because he bullied his little sister and broke the rules. So both Mayfield and I were punished with book copying. Finally, the door opened, and Martina slowly stepped inside. She was curious about what was written in the note inside the book but had never checked it out. Martina approached the dining table, surrounded by tense silence. Mayfield's face was now cold and distant. Martina respectfully bowed according to etiquette. At this moment, Gakno looked somewhat pleased. Many officials have reported that you've become more harmonious lately. I'm glad to hear that. As a princess, that's a very good quality. Martina glanced at her father. Now that you're a beast tamer, you need to show the qualities of an heir. Your father was the same back then, wasn't he? He nodded, clearly pleased. Very good. Father always thought of her as a daughter to be proud of. She silently evaluated him. He valued winning over the nobles. As long as he felt he could gain more support for the royal family, that was what mattered. He wouldn't be like in the past life, where he judged her harshly and coldly. Unpleasant memories surfaced how she was ruthless to nobles she disliked. She had no loyal subordinates then. Mayfield was falsely accused of killing a sacred beast, and no one defended her. Facing a princess hated by all nobles and ministers was brutal. Father ordered the judges to give her the harshest punishment. That's when she realized that in this royal family, relationships were all about manipulation and calculation. Mother was there to appease the southern nobles. Mayfield and she were just to show the royal family's kindness. They had to be like dolls, always wearing a fake smile. Gardner's coldness deeply hurt her. They were like dolls used when needed, discarded when not. Their smiles slowly turned sinister. That's why Mayfield and she ended up like this. Suddenly, a knock on the door echoed. Gardner questioned her. Martina, next week the two princes from Sydney will arrive for the alliance marriage. Your mother already told you, so why aren't you ready yet? He looked annoyed. I heard you're still busy preparing for the sacred beast's month-old celebration. Martina tensed, clutching her dress tightly. So that's what this was about. Summoning all her courage, she said. I already refused, Mother. I don't want the alliance marriage. Michael snorted coldly, his gaze sly. After a long silence, he finally spoke. For centuries, the Shichning Empire and our country have been at odds. This marriage is a great chance to improve relations. Don't you want to seize it? Michael smirked. Martina caught his meaning and didn't hold back. If you support this marriage, why don't you go yourself? Gardner rubbed his temple, clearly annoyed. Sydney Empire only has 4 princes, he said bluntly. I guess you're worried no one will care for the sacred beast after you marry into Sydney. Father has thought this through. Gardner rang the bell in his hand. Isabel, bring them in. Footsteps slowly approached. Martina's expression darkened the moment she saw the scene. Isabel led in two children. Martina, Mayfield, these are your sacred beasts. We found a spell to transform them into humans. This is the first time since the Empire's founding. She reminded her daughter, so don't worry about the sacred beasts anymore. They're well cared for here. Martina, listen and agree to the marriage. Martina was shocked, frozen in place. They wanted to use Lily to pressure her into the marriage. What kind of spell did they use on Lily? Why did she change like this? Suddenly, an announcement sounded. The bond between parents and sacred beasts was severed. Elizabeth gently held the two children's hands. Martina smiled involuntarily. Martina, see how clever they are? I'll take good care of them. And brother, listen to father and work hard for the country. Yes, mother will treat them like her own nephews and nieces. Right, you still don't know your sacred beast's name, do you? The boy's name is Six Freeze, a very heroic name. Martina stood silently, looking at the two kids. They showed no reaction, like they were controlled. This definitely wasn't any ordinary spell. Does Mayfield know about this? Of course. Mayfield's sharp gaze was icy cold, making her squint. Yet he kept that rotten look in his eyes. Looks like this move by your parents caught him off guard. Maybe we can use this to our advantage. Martina calmly sat down and said, If mother can care for the sacred beasts, I can rest easy. But this is the first time in history a sacred beast has turned human. Shouldn't we announce this miracle to the people? She raised a finger for emphasis. Mayfield noticed, but didn't care. We stand together to protect our sacred beasts. We have to make this public. Only by telling the nobles and the people can we ensure no one tries anything. No one in this house, not even the Emperor, can be trusted. I've already signaled Mayfield. If he's smart, he'll understand my plan. He briefly showed a very meaningful smile. Mayfield spoke softly. Fine, then let's announce it. 2 sacred beasts, turning human on the same day. Otherwise, your sly little sister will spread the news first, claiming she did it before you. Just then, Gardner, who had been silent, spoke up. Not a bad idea. I'll consider it. Both of them startled, looking in the same direction. He was cautious, serious, but only after you finish your tasks. You are the Empire's royal heirs. Your lives, dignity, and fate exist only to serve the Empire. If you want the right to inherit, you must give every last drop of blood to the Empire. One by one, they silently left. Lily, with vacant eyes, was held by Elizabeth and led away. Martina reached out to call Lily, but the girl didn't respond, her expression cold as ice. Mayfield sneered. Must be dark magic. You know our father would do anything. In his heart, the sacred beasts were just tools to hold power. Martina lightly frowned at her brother. Mayfield, let's talk. They quietly chose spots on the balcony, each holding a glass of golden wine. Martina spoke first. Today reminded me of our childhood. He laughed. Rare you bring up the past with me. She smirked. If you didn't want to talk, you wouldn't have responded to my signal just now. Mayfield took a deep breath. Their eyes softened as they looked at each other. All right, I know what you mean. You're talking about when father took us as hostages. Martina confidently continued. We were the same age as the sacred beasts then. Mayfield added. You were a bit younger, a little redhead kid. At that time, some powerful nobles in the east rebelled and attacked. Martina was caught off guard. Father negotiated with the nobles but secretly organized troops to crush the enemy. To make the eastern nobles drop their guard, father took us as hostages. He took a sip of wine, showing his displeasure. Then we were locked in a stable for over a year. The smell was disgusting. One damn noble thought he had won and ignored the treaty. Drunk, he still came to the stable to take you away. Ridiculous. But I stabbed him with a piece of a horseshoe. He ran screaming. Martina leaned against the railing. Why don't you remember when you embarrassed yourself? You had malaria and were feverish for days in the stable. I had to ask the stable hands to find medicine for you. We didn't dare talk much because it made us hungry. We were like 2 stray dogs no one wanted. Mayfield clinked glasses with her, one hand casually in his pocket. When father finally won, he thought we were dead. Martina replied, Unfortunately, we're still alive. Moments later, she placed her glass gently on the railing. After hearing her story, Mayfield summed it up. So you don't want the sacred beasts to become hostages too? You want to save them with me? She nodded. Exactly. Looks like I don't need to explain. You get it. He leaned closer to her. So what's in it for you if you help me? She sipped her wine thoughtfully, eyes briefly clouding with sadness. You're my only brother. I can only rely on you. Suddenly, Mayfield lifted her chin, bringing their eyes face to face. Your little sister is really good at acting. She avoided his gaze, calm. What do you want? Be upfront. Don't say give up the inheritance. That's ridiculous. Mayfield laughed confidently. Fine, then give me the tree territory. Hand it over. Martina agreed immediately. During my marriage negotiations, you rescue the sacred beasts. If you succeed, the tree territory is yours. Mayfield moved according to reason. He was eager and congratulated her. Once again, we're family, my dear sister. Scene changed to a room facing outside. Martina walked the hallway, fuming and deep in thought. I can't trust Mayfield. This is just to stall him so he won't take advantage of father forcing me into marriage. She sighed, opening the door. But I still don't know what to do about the marriage. When Martina opened her eyes, she was shocked by the sight before her. Me, dirty and badly wounded. This terrified Martina. Me, what happened to you? Thanks for watching today's video. Our story continues with many exciting developments ahead, so don't forget to like and subscribe to support us and never miss the latest episodes. Wishing you a relaxing and fun time. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.